Hey everybody, this is DayTraderRockStar, and this is the high probability watch list. Well, actually, it's the market radar, and we're back this week of doing individual watch list videos. So if you take a look at the HPS video site, I'll try to show it to you fast. We have a lot of different stocks setting up on this, so I don't want to go over and show you exactly everything here. But you can see there's quite a bit. And each one of these arrows on the right-hand side represents the video. So if you go to the HPS site, you click on that video, the video will come up, and then basically you'll have the HPS set up there. And great ones. All right, there's two best bets for the week. But that's where you're going to get that. And that's, again, on the Day Trading Radio members section. So if you go up to the top part of your dashboard up here, I'll show you one more thing here. You go up here to the top part of your dashboard, you go to HPS list, and you go to that list right there, and then you're good to go. All right? And you'll see each of the videos, each of the HPS setups. And you got to admit that we are been on fire this week. We had the Greece situation just overhanging the markets. We had the FOMC rate decision overhanging the markets, but going into the week, going into last week, everything was pretty standard. We had a nice 60-minute pullback. We had a nice rally off of that. Some strength came in, and we pulled back. Everything is like just acting normal. The patterns are there. I think we're a little concerned about Greece. A lot of people are always concerned about pullbacks. There's always someone's out there always crying wolf. But overall, this is a very healthy-looking chart. We had a nice flag. We broke out of it. We're consolidated today. There's potential bad news. We're going to hear more on that Monday. There's going to be another meeting, Eurogroup meeting, discussing what's the scenario if Greek defaults and exits the euro. So there might be, some issues there. But I think overall we're going to move higher off of this. I think the market, and this is what I've been saying for the last week, I think the market is absorbed and is priced in the worst case scenario with Greece, and that we're acting normal here. We just have to continue to do what we're doing, and what we're doing is just nailing these setups. I mean, I'm going to just go through a couple that we had. We took profits in. Of course, we had some of the railroads. We came down. Look at these things when I outline these. And, Day Trading Radio, we talk about certain playbook plays, playbook setups. And there's, again, if you go to the top of your dashboard up here, you can actually go to the playbook section. Sign in. Sign in. I'm blocked out. I don't have an account. Let's see here. Playbook. There we go. I just have to re-sign in here. And here's all your playbooks, all your videos, and all your education on which setups we have. 10 of them. 10 of them basically we look at lower trend line stochastic bounce, channel breakout stochastic rotation, coil stochastic setup, downward wedge pattern. These are how to trade these patterns, how to dual stochastic, 1, 2, 3 patterns, 200 EMA breakdown, channel line bounce, X marks the spot, how to trade ES trading and stuff, and a lot of other stuff along with that. So if you're not familiar with some of the terms, and we call this an X marks the spot, this is the type of setup. Each one of the setups you see on the HPS list, is pretty much a setup that you could, that education goes behind it. There's a rhyme and reason that goes behind it. There's an area why we're getting in, and there's also a reason why we get out. So this continues to look pretty good, but this is a great example of, watching that X marks the spot and seeing this start to turn back up, and you still have some upside. So we still like the railroads a lot. We took some profits on that this week. Here we have AMT, and even though AMT took time, we had some options in it. Some options kind of expired. The other options are doing well. The common shares are just, we took profits on those today. So, when we see some of these good setups, we try to take some different ways of trading them. But, with the time decay, sometimes it's always better just to go. You have a great quality name like this. Sometimes it's just better with common shares. So you don't have to worry about the timing of these things. But again, it's really a textbook downward channel. We broke out of the channel. And we looked for follow-through today. We got the follow-through. We had a little reversal candle. That's going to probably lead to a little weakness maybe early next week. But the 60-minute is something I'll be paying attention to. I still think that was going to be fine. no problems there. And again, it's right down the line. We have, still holding stuff in Carnival Cruise Line, which is just a fantastic looking chart. I expect this to break out next week. Carnival Cruise Line is not even on the watch list, and there's a lot of quality names that are just trading like this, pushing up against their highs, banging up against the highs. Expect this to just make new highs, break through 50, and probably continue to push higher. And there's a lot of those out there. ACN, some of these are just you get into the market, you're learning how to trade. Sometimes it's very important, not just sometimes, it's very important to surround yourself with quality names. It just makes it easier. Stay with the trend, understand the concept of rotation and momentum drifting back and then picking up again, support and resistance, and seeing these patterns play out over and over again, seeing a recognizable pattern and seeing a 1, 2, 3 pattern and understand what's the higher probability zone down here? Well, it's when you get oversold and you have a lower trend line off of 1, 2, 3 pivots. So these become the HPS zones. So when we get this HPS zone, that's when we trade it. Right now, it's not really an HPS zone because we're extended, we're kind of overbought, yet, but it still can move higher. A strong stock will embed and push higher. But the quality names, again, a lot of these real strong stocks, we continue to watch, we continue to discuss, but in some cases we're waiting for the really good setups on those. And that might come down the road a little. Discovery here. Excellent setup going into next week. Again, some freebies I'm giving you, which we're always watching on the show, but this is not an HPS setup, but it could easily be an HPS setup. Just a lot of good ones this week, and I don't want to overwhelm you. But I will give you a best bet as I bring back, a little excitement for the YouTube video people. I have there's actually two what we call kick-ass trades for this next week. Now, we know that we've already gotten into a couple of airlines. We've been eyeballing those airlines and identified a lane divergence in the airlines. So at this point, when we pulled back, there was all the airlines were lining up, and JetBlue gave us a lane divergence. You could see the move from there. And again, right down the line, LUV was a very important one. And we're actively in that one now, and that's working out great. Again, all the charts are on the site for this, the targets, the entry zones, the targets, and the alerts that you get on this. But I'm going to give you one here. I'm going to give you one to watch early next week. Why did I put that one in? AXP here. Where is it? American Express. Very similar to the Fastenal. Now, Fastenal here, you can't look at how beautiful that is. We trade these things. Here's a nice wedge pattern. You understand a coil stochastic wedge, how to get in, understanding rotation, stochastic rotation, channel breakout. Next level is here. And then, of course, we had this channel pullback, and now we're pushing up against a little resistance. But the point I wanted to show you here is this type of choppiness. You pull back, oversold, you bounce a little, and then you hold up off those lows. And this is a flag. And we finally broke through that flag, and we got the momentum to push up here. And what happened was we had this starting to break higher. We kind of put in a higher low, a higher high, and we started, you see that little turn back up right here? Well, that started to break us out. Once we got that turn back up, momentum really shifted, and we had a nice 2-day follow-through, and it really blast off. It made sense to take, to look for a little pullback today. But now we have the AXP. I think we're basically in the same situation. We got that pullback, that bounce, and the holding off the lows, a little flag, and that daily is pointing in the right direction, but that 60 gives us just enough to get us recharged and ready to rock again. So I like this one a lot for next week, the overall pattern. The daily is a nice little basing pattern. We have big, 84 is not an issue with this one, in my opinion. I could go down, out further out here, 87, 85, 87, and 90, work our way up. But the current trade right now, probably up to about 84. I think this is a great setup, and looking forward to that one early in the week, probably Monday, to jump right on that. And there's so many others. I mean, we've just gone through, there's so many good setups out there right now. The CB, which another good coil stochastic channel breakout, a little pullback today, but these were all part of the list. This one actually broke down a little and then came back into the pattern and then broke out to the upside. Now, Coles is also an active one, and to get the early alerts and to get the exact entries on this, well, that's being a member. But I want to show you what we look for here. On this one, we recognize there's a classic 1, 2, 3 pattern. We had a nice pivot, then we had another pivot here, and we came down and actually made a nice little channel. And we're oversold. We refer back to our 60-minute time frame, and we started chopping around. We started moving up a little, and then we started chopping around, moving sideways. But we retraced real quickly here. We took out, we didn't take out the lows, but we retraced real. Then we gapped up and pushed a little bit higher. But that 60-minute time frame, once we got past that little consolidation, lots of times when we make that first rotation after you come out of a little basing, or what we call an embedded stochastic setup here, you see that's been embedded and you get a little bit more selling. Once you make that full rotation back down, it usually gets back into a rhythm and we actually concentrate on that first touch. And from that point on, we moved back up. And again, these are just, walking you through some setups that we were in this week. Some other ones that NCR, mostly the railroads, the airlines, some other ones. That's about it. But let's get back now to the SPX. I gave you enough on the stocks. If you want more, we got about 15 great ones that are set up for next week. The hourly on the, depending on what comes out on Greece, we have to always keep an eye on that. But let's see. Let's watch this hourly pullback. If we get a nice quick hourly pullback, I would expect, same old. A good opportunity here, probably a bounce coming up early next week. Now, I stress just the news. That's the news. We didn't want to get too involved with the news this week, and then we kind of made the call that, hey, this is going higher, regardless of the news. It's been in focus for too long, and if you've been trading as long as I have, you notice that the market will eventually get fooled the first couple of times, but after a while, it starts to price it in and it doesn't really react. The Ebola trade was of something similar. Back in the day when there was more terrorist attacks, you would spike down. You would get that real market volatility. And now you're hearing, you hear news all the time, and the market doesn't really think twice about it. So it's about something like this. Eventually Greece will be behind us in one way or another, and the market should, take that as a positive. So maybe something comes out next week. As far as we know, they're kicking the can down the road to the end of the year. So it's just going to overhang us at another point. But right now, we'll get back watching that 60-minute time frame. A little pullback maybe early next week. The daily here is very strong still. We haven't crossed back over, even though today was a little pullback. But really an inside day. That's what we have to work with right now. You will have those inside days, but overall it's pretty good. I'm more interested in some of the best bets this week. I think they are key. A couple big ones. I'm going to actually start looking at Priceline next week as we pull back a little bit further. A lot of options traders trade this one, and it's starting to look interesting. I would like to catch a run on this. The hourly's oversold, the daily's oversold. We're coming down to a lower trend line. The possibility of a gap, a spike down, kind of flush on this is there. It just, I never like it, but I've seen it so many times that just to push back and move higher. So maybe something like that comes out. I'm not in this yet, but I'm watching it. It's a big stock. I won't even mess with it with the options. There's some other good ones out there that are setting up. They're all on the watch list. Discovery Mohawk. ACN is another one, just a nice one. Look at this, how it's pushing up against the highs, almost near $100. Again, these are very good looking names. CCL, DXCM. These are all pushing higher. I mean, these are what I surround myself with. See, Sealed Air Corporation. Look at these. I mean, how could you not be in some of these? In the market. I know these are kind of beyond an HPS type of entry where you see a great stock and you see that momentum pull back and it's giving you just a little opportunity because you never really want to take it while it's up here. I mean, it's the rotation here. You don't want to get into something and find yourself holding it for a couple weeks as it kind of pulls back and consolidates. You want to be able to take advantage of a small pullback, get oversold, and understand that the momentum is going to shift here and we have a better shot. So a lot of these, even though they're making new highs, they're not in that buy zone. PANW, CVS, I mean, you name it. UHS. Beautiful, beautiful looking stocks. And then we have the stocks like Altria, which are starting to turn back up. So these are the ones that I'm kind of interested in. And like I said, we have about 10 to 15 of them set up for this week or next week. And that's about it. So looking forward to it. Get back here Monday morning. We'll see if the news does anything to the market. But other than that, I'll wait a little on the 60-minute time frame. I think things will start to get into a rhythm. We had a pretty decent rhythm today. We'll look at, maybe I'll put a little focus on the tradeometer going into next week. There wasn't too much going on today. It kind of moved on up this morning and it kind of drifted on back. But you can see it was pretty organized. Once you established a trend, each that 5-minute chart really came into play. I mean, each overbought level here really kind of marked off the, and you can see here, which is kind of good. It's kind of established that negative divergence when you start to see the stochastics rotate back up here, even on the 5, but the price goes sideways. That's typically a negative price divergence, and you look for that topping action right there to push the stock to turn over and start to break down. And again, it happens as fast as this happens. It might not be a big one, but again, you can see we pushed back up here on the stochastics, but we didn't really do much on the price. And then from that point on, we rotated back down, and that's where we left off. So we get through this on the 5-minute, a little more downside Monday, and then we'll watch for an upside trade. And that'll all be detailed out on day. So welcome to join us at 8:30, 8 o'clock. Actually, 8:20 is when we start our news. And we'll see everyone Monday. Happy Father's Day, by the way. Happy Father's Day to everyone out there. You can't say anything more. If you're a father, you're blessed. And I'll see you Monday. No, don't forget, the watch list is now individual videos on the HPS site. So I did give you a couple freebies here, some great setups going into next week. So you'll see those focused on Monday. The AXP, the American Express, you're probably going to see me if you watch the show get into that in a pretty decent size. I'm really liking that. Just need to see some action on it. I really do like that. All right, so excited about that, and I'll see you guys Monday.